Welcome back to These Guys Again, the premium film podcast.
Bite-size edition.
Bite size with reduced staff due to horrendous cuts in our budget. There's no budget.
No, sadly we're down to just two for this week, but we care too much about this to let it slide.
We can't let it die. Not for 1 week.
I guess we can just jump right in.
Jump into the news.
Got Mark and Irv this week, so
Team Merv for the win.
Team Irv, is that what we are?
Merv.
Oh, Merv. I think you just said Team Irv. Team Merv. Just jump straight into the news. I just want to say last week there was a bit of confusion and I wasn't sure about the dates of the BAFTA and the Oscars, but I can now officially confirm that the BAFTAs will be hosted on the 14th of February, not March. And the Oscars will be end of the month, the 28th of February. So exciting times coming up for that. So, firstly, given the amount of marketing and promotion that was behind Captain Phasma leading up to episode 7, I think we can all agree that in the actual film, her role was quite diminished. She didn't really do much. She has confirmed that she'll be returning for episode 8.
In the shape of a nice compressed cube.
After being crushed by the garbage compactor.
Yeah.
Whether she'll have a larger role, more screen time or not, we don't know. But she is back, so she's not dead. Unless she's a clone. Spoilers. Noomi Rapace has announced that she will not be reprising her role as Elizabeth Shaw in the Prometheus sequel, Alien Covenant. She was very good in the first one, but I think because it was plagued by issues with the screenplay and other things, it wasn't received overly well. I mean, I really enjoyed it.
She pretty much carried it.
Yeah, and Michael Fassbender as well. Yeah. The two of them, the two of them did carry the film. The effects and the atmosphere were great. Idris Elba wasn't bad as well.
Yeah.
But I think Ridley Scott's trying to put as much distance now between that one and the way the story is moving forward, because originally it was going to be a direct sequel. It was going to be like Shaw and David going to David going to the engineer's home planet, but I think he's trying to separate out a bit more, because it's already been announced that we're going to be getting all the forms of the original xenomorph in this film. You get face huggers, eggs, a queen, and the general sort of drone, I suppose. But Elizabeth Shaw, Noomi Rapace will not be back, but Michael Fassbender will be. Whether he'll be the same whether he'll be the same one, and then we'll get an explanation as to what's happened to Shaw, or if it'll be completely separate, it'll just be another model of David. Who knows? But that's interesting. It's all changing, and also Alien 5 is still on hold because of this, which is sad.
So I'm not sure if it's been completely shelved.
It's not. It's been shelved. But it's not been cancelled, but it's been shelved because, I mean,
all the plans are up in the air.
Yeah, well, Ridley Scott's obviously coming back. He's trying to reclaim the Alien franchise, which could be good, could be bad. I'd like to see what Blomkamp could do, especially. I mean, I don't know if you know the whole premise of what Alien 5 was going to be.
I know it's like writing out
Alien 3 and 4 were both going to be hypersleep nightmares, and it was going to pick up straight on from the end of Aliens. With both Michael Biehn and Sigourney Weaver coming back, which I think is amazing. Which is like the best thing you could do for that series, because even though I love Alien 3 and Alien 4, it's got some, and it's got Resurrection, it's got some good things in it. I mean, to move the series forward, going back to Aliens is the best thing to do. But now Ridley Scott stepped in, and it's now up in the air as to which way it is going to go, because we don't even know what Alien Covenant's actually going to be about yet.
It'll be interesting to see how much Ridley can actually do, because he's wanting to do his Blade Runner sequel and all that. And
that's started production now. I don't think he's directing that though. That's just he was sort of producing that, I think.
Okay.
It's
but he ain't getting any younger. He's like 78 now. It's like, wow.
Yeah, but he's like he said, he's not gonna stop. He's gonna keep going until he's forced to stop.
Yeah.
I mean,
he's got a crazy cycle, because it's like, the round table, he just keeps on chugging them out. Yeah,
he's had some hit or miss films recently,
Yeah,
but The
yeah.
Martian was a spectacular return to form. So,
Mhm.
I mean, and I still loved the way Prometheus went with the whole coming back to sci-fi. So I think he's got
Mhm.
a good few more films in him.
Yeah.
Very briefly, Elizabeth Banks has been cast as Rita Repulsa in the currently pre-production Mighty Morphin Power Rangers film.
Yeah, yeah.
I think that's great casting.
You gotta love the Banks.
No, I think that's great casting. I think that'd be really good.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember all the characters in Power Rangers. Just all the names just morph all together.
There's Jason, Zach, Billy, Kimberly, and Tanya.
Especially it's just like original 90s.
I don't know. I don't actually know which way it's going, but those...
It better be Mighty Morphin or nothing.
Did you see this thing that we were talking about last week, A.D. Shankar, the guy that did the...
Yeah.
Did you see his Power Rangers one?
Yeah.
That was really good.
One with Katie Sackhoff and that, yeah.
Huh? That Katie
Yeah,
Sackhoff, yeah.
Because it got pulled really quickly because like Bandai were like, you don't have the rights for this.
Yeah, I know. But I don't know what iteration it's going to be following, whether it's going to be a complete... Well, because it's got Rita in it. That was the original. Because then it went to Lord Zed, and then I think I grew out of it after that. When we got into the 90th season. Yeah. So I think it will be going back to the originals. Whether Tommy, like the Green Ranger, will be in it as well, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But good casting. Good casting.
Interesting to see where it goes.
Very briefly, quite interesting, Pope Francis, the head of the Catholic Church, is set to be the first pope to appear on film. He will play himself in Beyond the Sun, which is an Italian-made family movie based on the Gospels, which was inspired by the Pope's call for filmmakers to cater for children when thinking about how Jesus' message should be communicated through cinema. All profits from this are going to be donated to 2 Argentinian charities that help at-risk children and young adults. It's unclear what kind of role he's going to have, whether it's going to be the star of the film, or it's he's just going to play himself.
He's in there for like 3 seconds.
A brief cameo. He'll say a few words in Italian, and then that'll be it.
Yeah.
But it's
molto bene.
but it's a interesting development. Something new, something different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, earlier in the week, John Alasky, the voice of Bugs Bunny and Daffy Duck, and amongst others, died of cancer on 63. It was very sad. He was a very good impressionist and was, brought those characters to life amongst others.
Yeah.
So it's just sadly another.
I'm trying to remember. He's the one that followed on from LeBlanc back in the
day. Yeah. He was did some great work. Matt LeBlanc has been confirmed as the co-host so far with Chris Evans for the new series of Top Gear. Not what I would say would be my first choice, but
it sort of comes out of nowhere.
Yeah,
especially if it's like part of the permanent casting.
Yeah, it is. He's permanently signed on for at least one series. But I mean, I was thinking about it. I mean, he's been quite involved with BBC stuff. Everyone knows him as Joey Tribbiani. That's where everyone knows him from. But he was quite involved in Episodes, which is that BBC Two show, which had some quite good episodes in it. Episodes of episodes. But so he's been confirmed as the host to it. And I thought about it. I don't hate it. I don't think it'll be that bad. I mean, obviously it's kind of a prerequisite for the position, but he says he knows a lot about cars, and he's like, both him and Chris Evans are massive petrol heads, so it could be good. I mean, Amazon they've already got Jeremy Clarkson, the old crew developing the new one, so there'll probably be competition going on at the same time, but healthy competition is good.
His Amazon Prime's advert is pretty good.
Yeah,
filming a Segway.
Yeah, that was right.
You can watch this, and that.
No, that was good. But
is it life-size Batman time?
Life-size Batman time. Have you ever wanted to own a life-size Batman statue?
Quite possibly.
Well, now you can, and all for the cheap price of $8,000.
Amazing. Where do I sign?
Hot Toys have announced that they're going to be producing, I don't know how many, but they're going to be producing
50 million
life-size armored Batman statues based on the armored Batsuit from Dawn of Justice.
Civil War.
From Civil War. Standing over 2.2 meters tall. It is absolutely gigantic and the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen, but I want one.
And it lights up.
Yeah, it's got light up eyes, a light up base, realistic stubble, a fabric cloak.
I know it's like a perfectly articulate lower face. Attention to detail.
Yeah, a perfectly sculpted lower face of Batman. Like, whatever that means. I mean, yeah, it looks the part, but I mean, it's going to be a select few of avid collectors that will find anywhere to store that.
Yeah. It's quite mind-boggling.
Yeah. Interesting.
I think it's about Affleck's real height. Isn't he about 6'5", 6'6"?
Yeah, he's pretty big. But it is life size, so I assume it's based off of him. I mean, it's probably cast or something from the actual costume, but who knows? Anyway, check it out if you want. I mean, they are offering very convenient payments of
deals.
$1,000 a time. So I mean, you can spread out over a few months.
Yeah.
So yeah, why not?
It's Batman. It's a big superhero, huh? No superpowers, but he's quite good with the fighting.
And finally, Doctor Who has been pulled from Netflix, both UK and US.
What?
It doesn't really mean much, but a lot of people are speculating that this could be in preparation for the BBC announcing its own streaming service, along the lines of Netflix and
iPlayer plus.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know whether in the UK we'll have to pay for it. There's nothing official. Yeah, it's all, like I said, all speculation. But I don't know if the UK will count as being part of the British funding for it, the TV license funding. But it's kind of going the way that every channel is going to have their own their own service at some point, which is the way things are going to go. Because actual terrestrial TV and satellite and all that, it's not as popular anymore with so much on-demand capabilities.
Yeah. Just watching what you want when you want.
Exactly. So. Yeah. And that was the newsy news.
The news.
Well, we're not gonna have a Tarantino 2-minute this week because Craig is not here, so he has not watched Jackie Brown. But we will get back to that at some point when the triumphant return of Craig commences.
Yeah, we might have a double Tarantino 2 minutes.
Well, Kill Bill 1 and 2 and Jackie Brown. Yeah, so we so
what films did we see this week?
Yeah, we've seen 3 films this week. Well, 3 films we're going to talk about this week.
I saw 4.
Yeah, you saw 4, but no one cares.
Right along 2. Yes.
No, so I saw 3 films we're going to talk about. First of all, the main one being Spotlight. We also caught up with Beasts of No Nation on Netflix.
Yeah.
And the highly anticipated, world acclaimed Dirty Grandpa. Yeah.
A return to form.
Modern masterpiece, yeah. Which would you like to discuss first, Irv?
I think we'll go alphabetical order and we'll go Spotlight.
We'll go alphabetical and jump into Spotlight. Good. So the worst first. I like it. I like it. Save the best for last. Yeah. What do you think, Spotlight?
Pretty good.
Yeah, I loved it.
Yeah, it's weird how everything stands in our order of things now. Try to arrange all the cinema tickets and what's the best?
Which was the best?
It's right up there. Like it's
it's possibly the best film in January for me. Again, I'd say I probably still enjoyed The Hateful Eight the most, but Spotlight is probably the best film of the month.
It doesn't drag; it just gets straight in.
Yeah, but it's extremely thrilling and it captivates you much. Like it holds you for the entire film.
Yeah,
and like with it's action films can do that obviously, but this it's
entirely different subject matter.
Yeah, it's a very intense drama, but you're sucked in and it doesn't relent at all. No, I thought it was great. I loved the way it was made. I particularly liked how it didn't focus just on the church. It wasn't attacking the church. Yeah. It was more on
the community,
the social aspects, like the way it affected the community and the church operated within the community, but also put a lot of focus on the victims as well.
Yeah.
Which is brave when you're talking about this kind of subject, when you're talking about child molestation and and child rape and things. It's interesting and powerful that they brought all this in, and they didn't hide it. They didn't.
It's also like how they use the language in it, because it's pretty much just, you're expecting like to just hear like child abuse, because we're used to that so many times. But when it's like they just outline it as child rape and all sort of things, it's a lot more hard hitting, especially like how we've been conditioned to think about things, and just the language we hear in the media all the time. It was really powerful.
Yeah, and especially hearing that coming from, of course, actors, but hearing that coming from the people that were abused, like hearing it come from their mouth, like explaining what happened, because the reporters, they're wanting to get the in-depth story and like exactly what happened with all these people. So they're asking the hard questions, and the victims are responding as they would. It's a very sad and eye-opening film, but it's very powerful in that way.
Especially like it's just that escalation that you go with them on towards, because it's just this whole thing where it's like it's not just a case of a couple of bad apples that they keep on saying, and all this. It's almost like a disgusting use of like the utilitarianism argument, where it's like, occasionally bad things happen, but we do a lot of good in the community and a lot with charities. But
that's what I liked. I mean, it could have easily been a church bashing film, a religion bashing film, just how terrible the church is, and look what it does to society, look what it does to kids. But it was more like the institution was there, showing
and also the legal system as well.
But the institution was conveyed, showing its charitable donations and everything it does for the community, especially in Boston, because it's a huge Catholic community. But then it does demonize what comes to be the 6%, I suppose. I mean, it does make that separation. It doesn't just bunk them all in as the church is evil. Which was a very sensitive way to approach it.
And also like everyone's character, like especially like the journalist side, all pretty much like all of them in their life cycle, had a relationship with the church at one point in their lives. Like it wasn't just like outsiders, just
exactly, and that's all conveyed very well through the characters.
Yeah, because I think even with like its really strong ensemble, there's a good load of standouts as well.
Yeah, well that's the thing that made it so great. I mean, it is an ensemble cast, and there's not a lot of flashy editing and fancy cinematography going on. It is very sort of grassroots filmmaking.
It's almost like a TV drama.
TV drama. But that by being in that style, it puts so much emphasis and power in detail into the actual characters and the way they're going through the plot. And it's a testament to how engrossing it was to this ensemble cast. I mean, and handling an ensemble cast like that, it's never easy, because there's always, like, if you think of like similar A-list casts, there's always the one person that kind of steals the spotlight, or not necessarily steals the spotlight.
Steals the spotlight.
Clever. Not necessarily steals the spotlight, but is the main focus of the film, of the script. So they have all the. I mean, it kind of like Mark Ruffalo kind of came across like that to me in this. He was the main focus for me.
He was sort of like the main. He was one that was most emotive, or the Ross character.
Yeah, and he had the most powerful scene for me as well. When he's going off about having to publish their results. Like now and not wait. Like that was very,
instead of like going for the bigger plan, because essentially they're trying to see how high up this scandal goes.
All this corruption goes. Because it's been covered up by the church, but they're trying to work out how high it goes. But after the revelation that there has been a cover up, and like they can expose a few priests and a few of the clergy, that like he thinks it's their duty to do it, is to publish it now. They're he's told to hold off. He gets that. It's a really emotional moment in the film. So that's kind of the only spotlight grabbing bit that there was for me. But like the rest of the time, the whole cast like equally performed fantastically.
So I think it was pretty split between like him and also like Rachel McAdams. Because also like she's really great with her like victim interviews, and also like the relationship with, especially when she has a constant church going relationship with like her grandmother and all that, and little moments when that just harkens back to
exactly. And she's not going for her; she's going
for her family with her grandma,
and then she has the the revelation of what all this is, and
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a lot of in-depth character development that goes on. I mean, you know, they don't just take it on the chin. Like they're not your, you know, stereotypical reporters. Not saying that they should be.
Yeah.
But you know, they're not
really
just
involved.
Yeah, they're not just caring about the story. They're not
Yeah.
focusing on like, oh, we need the facts so we can publish this, so we can shame the church, so we can make
Yeah,
money
yeah.
and all that. That's not what they're about.
Cash grabs,
Like, the Spotlight team, it's described early on. They spend like years even on
Yeah.
one story, like going into it and getting the truth of the matter.
Mhm.
And when it comes to, again, because Catholicism has such had an important part in pretty much all their lives, they take these revelations to heart and
Mhm.
like really get into it. It's not just
Yeah.
they don't just take it at face value.
Because you can't help like comparing this like with seeing Big Short and just how, you know, much more of a superior film this is.
Yeah.
Both like, well, don't mean like you dislike their ensemble, but this one how it handles better, and also like there's almost the same amount of like technical detail, because unlike with that where it's all the bankings and loans and mortgage and stuff, this is all the journalistic data, and especially like the amount of names and details that all really starts to build up, so you have to keep you on your toes. But
it succeeds in doing that a lot better than The Big Short did.
Yeah.
I mean, namely because it didn't break the narrative at multiple points.
Yeah. Because even like through ignorance, like at the very start, I wasn't sure what this cardinal law was. Because at first it sounds almost
It sounds like
clause
a
or
legal
term
precedent. Yeah, but no,
But it's
cardinal
an
law is a
actual-
guy's name.
Yeah. So it's when you start to build up all those sort of things, and also like the relationships between the Globe and was it the Metro?
Yeah, well, the Globe was the newspaper, and then Metro was a part of it. I don't know if it was a magazine or it was just
Another publication.
but it might have been just like a column or a segment of the newspaper,
Yeah.
in the same way Spotlight was.
Mm.
But yeah, like I'm not too sure what it was, but there was a lot to it.
And also the score was really nice.
Yeah, Howard Shore, bringing his A game.
That took me out of nowhere because I was like, oh, Lord of the Rings guy.
Yeah, there's a lot of lovely little bits like punched by the music. I mean, one of the scenes that I say there wasn't flashy cinematography, but there was a lot of clever filmmaking in it.
Yeah.
And one of the things that really hit me hard was early on, the first person that Mark Ruffalo interviews, because he goes through Stanley Tucci, through the lawyer.
Stanley Tucci's great as well.
Stanley Tucci's fantastic, yeah. But he goes through Stanley Tucci to try and, because he's represented some of the victims.
Yeah.
So he goes through the lawyer to speak to some of the victims to try and start getting into the story, trying to understand what's happened. So the first person he talks to who was abused, he's talking about how they're survivors because not everyone makes it through, drugs and suicides and things. Like obviously this has a huge effect on them because they're just kids.
Yeah.
But so he's talking about survivors and how he's now got a young daughter, and he's basically all the focus is on her and raising her. And it's a really, again, an emotional development. And there's, you see the track marks on his arm and things like that. But further into the film, when Mark Ruffalo he makes the discovery, because they managed to get some documents that incriminate Cardinal Law?
Yeah.
They incriminate that some of these attacks were covered up.
Yeah.
He gets really into it. He's like, oh, I need to get to the Globe. So, I mean, he's rushing, grabs in a taxi and drives off. The score is picking up. It's getting really intense. As the taxi drives off, it very briefly focuses on father and child just in the play park.
Yeah.
Just very briefly, and it's that guy and his daughter.
And he's just pushing her really disaffectionately.
Yeah.
He's totally zoning out.
Yeah, he's not even there.
Yeah.
And it's not the sort of thing that everyone's going to notice, but it's just those little touches that I thought were really, really nice.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember, was the cinematographer, was he nominated for the BAFTAs?
Not sure.
Oh, I meant Oscars. Oh.
Not sure.
Yeah.
Possibly.
Yeah.
But we all know he's not gonna win it.
Yeah.
We all know who's gonna win it.
There's also another great wee performance, just with people holding their own, was Liev Schreiber.
Yep. Liev Schreiber was great.
Yeah, who's their boss?
More of a supporting role, but
Yeah.
very, very good.
And then was it my little brief moment of levity is when you work out that Batman and the Hulk are essentially working for Sabretooth.
And Dr. Manhattan.
Dr. Manhattan.
He's not working. He's not working for them, but he's in it.
You're working against them.
Yeah, he's working against them.
I still can't put like his face or match him up because he like voices
Billy Crudup. Yeah,
but also like he voices Ashitaka and like Princess Mononoke, and I cannot put those two together.
I did not know that.
In English dub, yeah.
I did not know that. Yeah, he's a man of many faces and many voices.
Yeah. But he's really great as well. But it's a weird role.
Yeah,
where.
Well, I mean,
how much the law system and
I mean, he's personally involved in it. I mean, his job is to settle all the idea is it's his job to settle all these cases outside of the courts, so there's no record of them. So all the abused get money, and it all gets
money for silence.
Yeah, swept under the rug basically. But it transpires that he didn't agree with all this, and 20 years ago he tried to reveal attention to it by sending stuff to the Globe, but it just got buried at the time. And it took the right circumstances, because obviously this is a true story. I mean, it took the right correlation of circumstances to bring all this out for it to get resolved, and well, not resolved but revealed. But
it was interesting, all the things that happened like in the timeline in the film, especially like when they're about to make their big push, 9/11 happens and sets everything back
by weeks.
It was really amazing because I didn't know like the timeline of this film, and like I was like, oh my god,
I knew it was set.
So I knew there was issues, and
I knew it happened in 2001, but I didn't realize that it happened around the time of 9/11. And just seeing like that, it was only brief, obviously, but seeing that footage and seeing everyone reacting to it, it's just more horrificness. But I don't really have much more to say. I mean, it was an absolutely brilliant movie. Definitely completely overwhelmed by it. And I hope it takes Best Picture, to be honest.
And it's nice seeing it getting recognised, because was it the Screen Actors Guild, and been getting
but they won
choice.
They won ensemble cast for the Screen Actors Guild. I can't remember who won. What won Critics' Choice? No. Well, what did win? It wasn't The Big Short. No, it was Mad Max, wasn't it?
Maybe.
I can't remember.
Bring you the greatest film news all the time,
and we forget it the week after. But there's we'll see what goes with the BAFTAs and what goes with the Oscars. But to me, I think still got a few more to see. Still got a few more things to see. But for me, Spotlight's
right up there.
Yeah, right up there. I think it should take Best Film. I mean, Big Short's been tipped to take it, but I just don't know why.
Really?
Yeah. I just don't know why.
Yeah. Again, it's not a bad movie, but it's just.
It's not a bad movie. It's got great acting in it, and it's the story is carried well by the cast, but the story is just so, in my opinion, poorly handled.
Yeah.
And these attempts at comedy just don't work.
It takes its own cake and eats it, and all that. So.
Yeah. So we spoke about that last week, but Spotlight is
I'd say Overwhelmed as well.
Yeah.
Overwhelmed, high five.
Yeah.
So onto something that's also very cheery.
Oh yeah. I mean, like we've gone from child molestation and child abuse to child soldiers.
Yeah.
And child abuse. Beasts of No Nation.
Yeah. I'll quickly get my little notes.
I mean, I remember it being released on Netflix. It was released on Netflix in November, I think. It was a while ago, and I was like, oh, that looks interesting. Idris Elba. Yeah, I'll have to watch that sometime. And then it just completely fell off my radar. Completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
And it was only again with all the controversy around all the nominations at the Oscars that well, why hasn't this been nominated? Why hasn't this been nominated? It's I forgot about that. I should give that a watch. It's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
It's really, really good.
Grim.
Really grim. really well made, really powerful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's shot in, like, I don't know the ratio, but it's an extremely widescreen camera, and it makes the whole thing seem surreal. But, like, it's really good.
It's funny, you don't expect like something like that to be like so pretty.
Yeah. I mean, based on the subject matter, but it does come across a really great film.
I think probably like one of the great strengths with this thing though is like it doesn't pull any of its punches.
No.
And you just see like the true horror of like what this does to people.
Yeah.
Especially to the children as well.
Yeah, I mean, like, it's a testament to the kid in it as well. I mean, Idris Elba is great in it. He's he plays the commandant.
Yeah.
Commandant. The commandant. The leader of the
militia.
This militia that recruits
Agu.
Yeah. But fantastic performance from him. But the film really does belong to Agu. I mean, he's the narrator. It follows him from start to after he gets out of the militia and tries to return to a normal life after all the horrific things he's gone through, whether he can or not. But, like, what a performance.
Yeah, because it's quite horrible. It's like when it's always, the sort of civil war thing. Yeah. But really what it is more like a civil slaughter, because the people lose on all fronts. There's like, these military factions. Do you remember, was it was like the NDF, the PLF, and like the MCR, and trying to claim back this land. And
because it's never actually set anywhere, is it? It's just it's an ambiguous African territory. It could be anywhere, but it's devastated by civil war, and revolutionary militia and the government all vying for power, and then just these villages, these families get caught in the middle. Yeah, and you either get recruited or you get executed.
You run away. Yeah,
or you run away.
Yeah,
and
it's always like women and children out. Boys and the men and the young boys stay, much like the older boys, but and also like you sort of also get the glimpses of like the UN forces and all that, and how much they cannot do. They just have to drive through all these things getting decimated.
Yeah, and the civilians, like, just there trying to help, trying to help or trying to document. They get caught in the middle and they get killed as well.
Yeah. And it also shows like how difficult it is for them to build or like to live in this world without trust, any trust. Like especially when Agu kills his first person, and this guy who says like he's a bridge engineer is just like
he's there to help. He's just there to repair the bridges.
Yeah.
But he's been caught in this convoy that's the militia have taken. They've killed everyone, and Agu's forced to kill him with a machete. Yeah.
Because as soon as there was that opening scene, like at the very start of the movie, when there's people doing their gardening with machetes, I was like, I'm getting bad juju.
I got a bad feeling about this.
Yeah,
it does not end well.
It's a shame because it starts off quite nice. It's like Agu and his family, and like especially like his brother. His brother's really funny.
Yeah. And his dad, who was a
teacher.
He was a teacher. It wasn't. He was before that. He was.
Can't mind.
But his dad's ended up as a teacher, not that he wanted to.
Yeah,
but he just had to provide for his family in the village that they've settled in.
Yeah. It's again sort of like Room. It's just like this child's, sort of like older child's outlook on life. And it's like. My brother was like, he always wants to go dancing. He wants to sleep with all these women, but how can she sleep with all those loud noises?
The child innocence.
Yeah, and then like he rolls him up in the rug and all that. And
because he's bugging him, so he just imprisons him in the rug and just leans him against the wall and leaves him. Great sense of family. It's
especially when it starts off like I forgot. It's when you like go and rewatch these things, you forget like how much it's like in the start, especially when it starts with all the kids with their imagination TV. They're doing their dancing, they're acting out, and even like their little 3D thing, which is like really sweet.
Yeah, like coming through the screen.
Yeah,
and just trying to get food and stuff from the UN.
Yeah,
it's there. Yeah,
and then it just all goes
downhill from there. Yeah, I mean, obviously it's a horrible subject matter and. The performances were fantastic, but again, it's just it was the visuals that sold it for me. I mean, like the way it's filmed, the the super widescreen. There's some great long takes. The cinematography is lovely, especially there's one scene towards the end where like Agu is just you follows him through a trench.
Yeah. You sort of get like a horrible like World War vibe.
Yeah. I mean, because he starts off and essentially it's like a pillbox.
Yeah.
The guy just sort of firing into the distance, saying, "Agu, get me some ammo." And then it follows him through the trenches, and as he gets a cigarette, and he's speaking to other people, and they're
all dying of infection.
Yeah, and there's all these battle sounds you can hear in the distance, and it's really harrowing but gorgeous filmmaking.
Yeah.
And then there was also the scenes filmed kind of in infrared as well.
Yeah, I took inspiration from like one of the artists in school. Like the folk were like, "Oh, you ripped him off," but he actually directly contacted the artist to get like information on how he did that sort of effect. Okay, but yeah, it was absolutely stunning because that was they took the brown where they sliced their eyebrows and then
rub pure heroin into the wounds, so it's Agu's first trip essentially, but like it's conveyed through this style of filmmaking.
It's amazing because it's beautiful chaos.
Yeah.
The subject matter is horrific, but it looks stunning.
Yeah.
Where all the greenery's just been wiped red, and there's also all the. There's just a lot of things that are framed like that, especially like when Agu, when his family's killed, and then he's just running away, and then when he disappears into the bush,
into the jungle,
and you get these beautiful wide shots of just him lost.
It pans up as he's running away into the foliage until he disappears. Yeah,
and it's amazing how this sort of thing gets overlooked. Not the credit it deserves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's a not a limited release. Sorry, it's released on Netflix, but because it's...
I think I had a small screening at the start as well.
It's
small indie fests.
Yeah. I mean, it won a lot of indie film awards and things, but it's the sort of thing that it comes out on Netflix. It's not promoted because it's not the sort of thing that the general public would appreciate. But it just kind of disappears because it's. I don't ever remember seeing it on the front page.
No.
You
had to look for it.
Yeah, it may have been there for a day or two and it was released.
Yeah,
new releases, but it's never been promoted by Netflix. Again, just because I assume of the subject matter.
Yeah.
And again, it's not even been shown up in a lot of the awards as well. It's like of course there's other films which are equally as deserving, and you can only have so many, which is fine. Like I'm not saying it should be like nominated for best film and all that, but it has just completely gone under the radar in a lot of people's eyes. Another film that just completely took me by surprise and completely overwhelmed me, especially the way I found it.
Yeah, and also like it's also you've still got these like lead performances, but you've still got a great ensemble cast behind it as well. Especially like was it Little Striker?
Yeah, Striker, like, another child actor. Yeah,
who's like his little mute friend.
Yeah, who doesn't talk.
He just chews like this. Is it like a bean grass or something?
Yeah, just a reed or something.
And also like 2IC. So you get to see like the range of these characters. Like 2IC, sort of like the one who's got a bit of intelligence.
Yeah,
but he's still being manipulated.
Yeah, right up to the end, he's being manipulated. And there's the preacher as well that's constantly like sort of preying on Agu and like confusing him and like leading him down these paths that I assume like the commandant's behind it all. I guess he did the same thing to the preacher at some point or whatever. But I mean, the like Agu really is the focus of this film. There's all these supporting cast members that really hold their own. And propel the film forward. Yeah,
because it's just, and then also it's like the gut punching moments. It's like I'm trying to think what the first one is like. Well, not even gut punching, but just like horrible ones. Is like again when he has to execute the engineer. But just when it's like think of his head like a melon but harder, and you raise your hand up, so you get the weight and just keep cutting. And then that's also when like Striker gets brought into the fold as well, because then he ends up helping Agu doing this atrocity. Yeah. And also the rape scene, which was handled quite well.
Uh-huh.
You know, it was a lot more, you know, what you didn't see. And
Yeah,
just like the reaction.
and how it's affecting now, because he's at that point he's still under the influence of drugs, isn't he? So I mean, like they get into this village and then
It's
obviously
also like all that sort of things like hinted earlier, like when the commandant like calls Striker away.
Yeah.
And he goes alone into his hut and stuff.
Yeah, there's a lot of insinuation. I mean, to whether you don't actually know what happens.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
There's no doubt that it does happen at times. So
it's just all that lines that's conveying that, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not here to punish you, Agu, and he just leaves it crying, and you're like, Jesus.
Yeah, it's just genuinely horrific. And then at the end, I mean, after the militia has been disbanded and he's been taken in, he's having therapy and all, like speaking to these therapists. I mean, it kind of ends with him running out into the sea and things.
Yeah.
Like,
trying to have a life to wash.
Yeah.
It's almost like a rebirth.
Exactly, yeah. That's what I was going to say. Trying to give back the innocence, but you just kind of get the idea that it's never going to...
with it for life, yeah.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, well, how can it not?
Yeah, yeah. Because also you get like the ones who... Because I think, was it Preacher's with him when he's at the camp as well? And then he just, he can't take it. He has to go back to what he knows.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
But there's also like other scenes... I was trying to remember all the other ones, but after that, the infrared scene is the scene in the mansion, and it's where Agu thinks he sees his mother.
Oh, yeah.
And then it's horrible because it's like she has a young daughter, and then Striker just ends up like stomping her to death.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of horrific subject matter in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very good film, but it's a very hard watch as well.
Yeah,
just because, I mean, I think the problem for me is that it's so removed. I mean, all the like, going back to Spotlight, everything that happens in that is horrific.
Yeah.
But we're a lot more aware of it. Like the whole child abuse within the Catholic Church it's worldly known, especially within the First World. So we know this story, we understand it. We don't know the ins and outs of how it came about, but it's relatable isn't the right word, but you kind of
there's the awareness of it.
Yeah, the awareness of what's going on.
Yeah.
So it's not as shocking, as horrific. It's still horrific and shocking.
Yeah.
But it's not as bad as going into this. I mean, it was the same. I mean, it's quite similar. I mean, it's a lot less Hollywoody, but it kind of reminds me of Blood Diamond because you have the same...
You have a tiny insight into that sort of...
Yeah, the same thing there with the child soldier being taken and forced to, fire a gun, kill people, not really knowing what he's doing. I mean, kid knows he's killing people, but doesn't really know why, like what's actually affecting him and how that warps this child's personality because he doesn't even recognize his father when he shows up. I mean, so that was just a small, more Hollywoody take on it, but this is a lot more raw, visceral, because the whole film focuses on the kid.
Yeah.
And to me, it makes a lot
more horrifying.
Yeah, a lot more horrifying, a lot harder to take because it takes place in Africa. I mean, again, like, this is happening, but not as much.
You don't get that visceral first person impact.
Yeah, and then when you see it on film, it's just like wow.
And even then, it was still handled like you didn't see a lot of splatter or nothing. It was a lot of it was off camera.
Yeah,
but
you like
still a shock.
It doesn't take away from the horror. In fact, it almost makes it more horrifying because
you make that image in your head. Yeah. And there's also like another wee poignant moment is like when Striker dies, and then it's when essentially they're able to cover up his dead body. He just leaves with his giant leaves, and you just see his little feet poking out.
Just left in the jungle.
Yeah,
because I mean, it's just another child soldier. It's not important.
Yeah. I think I'd still grade it overwhelming, but it's one that you need to prepare yourself for.
Yeah, it's not an easy watch, and it's not for everyone.
Yeah.
But it is a fantastic film with fantastic performances.
Yeah, because Abraham Matata, you see him normally, and he's just this young smiling kid.
Sweet little happy kid, and you just can't put him there.
Yeah. And it's amazing when you see people like that not get nominated
Yeah.
Especially when it's like this age thing, when it's like Jacob Tremblay, even
Exactly,
with
yeah.
amazing child performances.
Yeah, so some of the best child performances I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And there's no recognition at all.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just because they're too young.
They're too humble.
Well, I don't know if it's if they're too young to be part of like the guilds and things, because the guilds all come down to Oscar and BAFTA nominations. Like you can't be nominated if you're not in these guilds.
Yeah.
Which is why like Empire and stuff was never, Empire Strikes Back never nominated.
Yeah.
Because that was like after George Lucas had left the Directors Guild and things.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd definitely say Overwhelmed as well.
Yeah. Something horrific yet so beautiful.
Yeah. Two very powerful and overwhelming films this week.
Yeah. And now,
as we say, the best for last, ironically.
Yes.
Dirty Grandpa.
Dirty Grandpa.
Good God.
I
still, to this day, don't know why I went to see that.
It was at first the trailer, and we were like, "This can't be real."
Yeah.
And we had to confirm that it was. Real.
And the trailer was bad enough. I mean, you could see where it was going, but nothing could.
You could see the model strain.
Yeah, but nothing prepared me for how far it actually went.
Yeah, and also to go so far, but to be so unfunny.
Yeah,
especially like I think the normal sort of like stat for like jokes would be like if you have like 200 or 300 odd jokes, and 50-50, you're doing okay.
Yeah,
70%, you're doing all right. But when it's something like this, which is like minus 1%.
Yeah, for me there was about 3 jokes that landed at all, and this film is just like it's attempting joke after joke after joke after joke. Only about 3 films landed with me. A couple I found absolutely hilarious.
Yeah,
like I don't know why. Like the John Connor one was
John Connor cock blocking Terminator sent back in time. Cock block is
if they'd sent you back instead of the Terminator, you could have just cock blocked Kyle Reese and Sarah Connor, then John Connor would never been born. Like that was fantastic.
Yeah.
And then the
way more effective than the Terminator.
Yeah, and then the hippie name for the hacky sack.
Yeah,
it's like here's your hacky sack, bro. It's like, it's a organic hemp seed foot satchel. Like, I don't know why, but that just made me laugh.
And it's great because like
much.
Mark was the only one laughing at that.
Yeah, there's a few people in the cinema, but I was the only one.
I've never heard so much
that.
gasping though, considering there was only like 11 people there, and also an old couple.
Yeah,
was like,
that was uncomfortable. Hilariously uncomfortable.
Yeah,
I mean, the problem was it's I guess toilet humor has gotten to the stage now where like. It used to be the shock factor in a way, but now it's just going way, 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 way too far. And it was just really crass, really unnecessary. Every joke was just like disgusting to the point of disgusting and not
and you
funny.
sort of laugh like, how?
Yeah, and just like some of the things just like literally made my jaw drop because I had no idea,
especially
why that was in it.
Seeing Robert De Niro do those things and say those things.
Yeah, the things that Robert De Niro does in this film are unreal, and you can't.
Oscar worthy.
Oh God! Like I still find it hard to think I just watched that and it was Robert De Niro.
Yeah.
I mean, it
was Raging Bull. It was Goodfellas. It was
Taxi Driver. I mean, you look at it and you go, like, it's easy to say, who cares? I mean, he's done all these great films. He's this world-renowned actor. I mean, he's just in it for the payday now. I mean, obviously that's what
acting is.
Meet the Focker, like, because Meet the Parents was good.
Yeah,
I liked Meet the Parents. That was well done because he still played Robert De Niro quite well.
Yeah,
like his sort of style character. Then Meet the Fockers and Little Fockers were both
a bit more cash-ins.
Extreme cash-ins.
Yeah,
like not to the same extent as this. This is just dire.
Yeah,
but like, I found nothing to enjoy in this. I felt bad the entire film for Zac Efron. I mean,
you could do better than this kid.
Yeah, I can't.
Even when he has to sing and all that, and you're like, oh, this makes it even worse.
High School Musical throwback.
Yeah.
And I feel bad for him because I don't think he's a bad actor, and I think he's honestly trying. I think for a real chance to break into something more than what he is.
Aye.
I mean, like Bad Neighbors, for instance, wasn't a great film, but
he's trying.
It was also a comedy, but he did a lot more in that. I mean, he was he performed well in that. But also the way the scripting and the actual film is just because the whole film, it's the dirty grandpa essentially trying to convince his grandson not to get married to his fiancée, not to get married in a week, and instead to just sleep with whoever, like on this journey, whoever they come across, all these drunk, drug fueled girls and things, and it's horrific idea throughout the whole thing, and then your standard scripting cliches, oh, how do we make it so he's the good guy in all this? Oh, at the wedding, was revealed that his wife or his fiance actually cheated on him. So
with bestiality guy.
So everything's okay.
Yeah,
like it doesn't matter that you were going to cheat on your fiance, or you almost did, or you don't love her anymore so suddenly because she sucks. She cheated on you. It's just utterly dire filmmaking at its worst.
Worst.
Beyond worst. Sorry, I've spoken a lot. What did you think, Irv? Because you loved it.
Oh, it wasn't as good as Ride Along 2. Ride Along 2 set the bar for stuff that's just fine.
Just fine.
Yeah.
So you'd say this was just fine, would you?
Oh no.
Oh no.
But then again, I'm not as shocked as what we were actually prepping ourselves for.
Yeah, no.
We were prepping for some real, balls to the wall apocalypse stuff.
Yeah, it could have gone many different ways, but no, this really just ended up being boring.
Yeah,
boring is the only way to describe it.
Yeah, because we looked at each other for most of the things that really happened. Look at that.
Yeah.
That guy's laughing. Who's this?
Yeah, it's one of those things that I kind of just wish didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I don't really want it.
It's now part of film history.
Yeah, I've seen it. I don't have to see it again, and I don't really want to talk about it much more.
Okay.
I would say underwhelmed, but I'm pretty sure I'm about a mile beneath underwhelmed.
Overwhelmed in the negative zone.
Okay, yeah, that works. Yeah. That overwhelmed works. In the horrific way. Overwhelmed by just how bad it was.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember, was there... I think the only light relief in that was the drug dealer.
Yeah.
He was alright.
Was it Pam or Pat?
Yeah.
Or,
love you, Pamela.
Yeah, Pam. He had some good fish. Oh, that was the other bit that made me like fat goose.
Yeah.
There's these two jock head idiot, like stereotypical jocks, idiots. But
lacrosse players,
but they went into a flexing competition as Hot Top Gun.
Yeah.
And it was Maverick and Fat Goose, which is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
I thought that was great. But yeah.
But it's great. It had all the beats, someone that was special forces. It was like, oh, this is hitting me so hard. And it's like, son, life is about meaning. It's like, yeah.
So really, what you're saying is that Robert De Niro was just playing, the same character that he's played in countless films before.
Yeah.
But
with more.
With more feeling.
Yeah.
Not the good kind.
But yeah. Overwhelmed in the negative zone.
Yeah.
Dirty Grandpa.
Yeah, just awful.
And I think I'll quickly say that Ride Along 2, it's just fine. It's okay. If you like the first one, you'll like this.
Yeah.
And there's one great sequence where Kevin Hart is supposed to be obsessed with video games, or he plays.
Uh-huh.
And then there's this GTA knockoff, which is great in the film because he's driving, he gets stopped, he gets carjacked by a grandma, he starts a fight with a grandma, and then the grandma gets him down, beats him up, and then just out of nowhere just executes him. Just takes out a Glock and just bam to the head. He's like, what? And then in the same rising climax, there's this car chase, and Kevin Hart's driving, and then he's in the zone, and then he starts hallucinating this virtual reality world, and it's the game he was playing, the game that he's ready for, so he can excel. And then he looks to his left, and it's Ice Cube, but it's CGI'd Ice Cube, and he looks completely squared and everything. And it's best thing ever.
Oh man, I will have to give that a watch at some point. It wasn't
on Netflix or
I wasn't going to rush to see it, but I mean it's something that it's a popcorn film.
So it's just fine. It's just fine.
It's just fine.
Just whelmed, but yeah. And also, I just completely forgot what I was going to say there. I just thought of this thing to say, and it's it's total rip off of the Fast and Furious title sequence, which was amazing. It's like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, I can see it. I haven't seen it, but I can see
You
it.
can visualize it.
Yeah.
That's amazing. But if you want to see something that's superior to this, just watch any of the Rush Hours.
Oh yeah.
That's my guilty best film trilogy ever. The Rush Hour series.
Best film trilogy. Yeah, no, I think that about wraps it up for this week.
Yeah, but hopefully February should be pretty good.
Yeah, I don't think we're going to have a show next week because there's a lot of different personal things going on over the weekend, and the weekend is really the only time we get to record. There's things happening this weekend. Obviously, we're down 2, but I think we'd be down 3 next weekend. So unless Irv just wants to solo it,
the spin-off.
I think we'll be taking a 2-week break, but then we'll be coming back with looking at Deadpool, Two-Lander, Trumbo, maybe a couple of other things depending on what goes on, and we'll have the BAFTAs to discuss, and then looking towards the Oscars.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to 999.
Yeah,
I sure hope that isn't bad. Because it's such a good ensemble.
Yeah,
and great director as well.
The trailer looks very powerful, but again, we'll just have to wait and see how that turns out.
Wait and see.
Yeah, a few more things to look forward to in February. I mean,
Maybe let's see if 2016 is better than 2015. My calls is.
Yeah, it's already shaping up to be. I mean, the awards season, as it were, is already excelled over last year, I feel.
Yeah. Apart from huge controversies, which is time for another time, but not this time.
Not this time, never this time. Maybe next time.
Yeah,
well, thank you, everyone, and good night.
Good night.